This episode of the Tekzilla is brought to you by GoDaddy.com, the United States Air Force, and the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. Coming up on today's show, the top 10 Tekzilla daily tips of 2008. From Firefox to Windows, OS X to iTunes, the absolute best tips guaranteed to make your computing life that much easier. So put on your party hat, pop open the champagne, and fire up the sparklers. Wasn't that last night? Because Tekzilla starts now. Welcome to Tekzilla. I'm Patrick Norton. Veronica Belmont is back east visiting friends and family for the holidays. So instead of a regular show, we thought it was a great chance to put together the most popular daily tips we've done over the past year. The ones that got people excited, the ones that got them forwarding them around the mail, the ones that you watched over and over again. So without further ado, I present to you, our loyal viewing audience, the best Tekzilla daily tips from 2008. With so many people using Firefox, it's only natural that folks flock to Firefox tips like bees to pollen. So here are the top 2 Firefox tips of 2008. If you got Firefox and it seems to be loading pages super slow, doesn't respond as quickly as it should, you might want to try turning on pipelining. This lets Firefox load multiple items within a page simultaneously instead of one at a time after the other. To turn it on, it's a little weird, but just follow these steps. It's a little simpler than it sounds. In the address bar, type in about:config. At the next screen you see, type network.http to filter the items. Then locate network.http.pipelining. Then you're going to go to that entry, you're going to double click on it, and that's going to change the value to true. Now locate the network.http.proxy.pipelining entry, and again, double click on it and change the value to true. Next, locate the network.http.pipelining.maxRequest entry and change the value to 30 or more. When you're done, restart Firefox by closing and relaunching the browser. Next time you load a web page, you should see a noticeable increase in how fast it loads.
Today's tip comes from Tekzilla viewer Graham from California, and he writes in with a handy tip for speeding up Firefox. Thank goodness. Open up a blank page and type about:config into the address bar. Right-click anywhere and select New, then Integer. Name it nglayout.initialpaint.delay and set its value to 0. This value is the amount of time in milliseconds the browser waits before it acts on information it receives. So while it doesn't technically make your pages load any faster, it lets you see what has been loaded sooner. It's kind of like a mind trick like that. This works even better when you combine it with our pipelining tip from Tekzilla Daily episode 53. Then you'll be surfing at warp-like speeds.
Firefox tips weren't the only thing people were attracted to. With a name synonymous with web search, Google tips were very popular with a lot of people out there.
Hey, do you want to be on the cutting edge with Google's latest web technologies? Then you need to check out Google Labs' experimental search page. Located at google.com/experimental, that sounds pretty interesting. Google gives you the opportunity to try out some features still in development. Based on your feedback, they'll either implement that feature into their main search interface or cut it completely. Currently, they have 3 experiments running, including one that features alternate views for search results and another that makes Googling with your keyboard a lot easier. Remember, these features are all in development, so they might not work as expected. But with your comments and feedback, they'll make sure all the bugs are found and fixed. The life of a beta tester is not always an easy one. Do you use Google Reader? Do you miss your old Nintendo Entertainment System? Well, today's tip combines those 2 unlikely worlds right on in together. Open your Google Reader window and hit that famous combo. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, and Shazam! Get ready to defend yourself because that ninja might just take you down. But don't worry, he can be neutralized by repeating the combo. It may not be functional, but it certainly is a lot of fun.
Windows, OS X, iTunes, still to come. More tips to make your computing fast, fun, and efficient. But first, a word from one of the sponsors that makes this show possible, GoDaddy.com. You want to make an impact online? GoDaddy.com has what you need. .com names for as little as $1.99, world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and quite a bit more. Your website visitors, prospects, and customers are wary of websites and online businesses that aren't what they claim to be, and worried that their personal and financial information might just fall into the wrong hands. Turn your visitors' concerns into a competitive advantage with the ironclad protection of a GoDaddy.com secure certificate. And today, as a special holiday treat, we're going to let you have your choice of 5 special offers to use with GoDaddy.com. Enter TEK1 when you check out, that's TEK1, and save an additional 10% off your entire order. Enter TEK2, that's TEK2, and save an additional $5 off any order of $30 or more. Enter code TEK3, that's TEK3, and register your domain name for $7.49, or enter code TEK4 for an additional 15% off any order of $75 or more. TEK5 gets you an additional $10 off any order of $40 or more. As always, some restrictions do apply. Please see GoDaddy.com for details. And do us a favor here at Tekzilla, get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com, and please use one of those TEK codes when you do. Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of, a website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, one of my favorite websites ever, Lifehacker.com. We've mentioned Gina Trapani's site on the show before, but it deserves more than just a casual remark. In addition to system tweaks, they feature downloads, websites, personal productivity, DIY hacks, and a ton more. It's everything from your life to your fun and in between, and the dialogue between the posts and the commenters. They ensure that you're getting the most comprehensive and up-to-date information possible. It is a go-to source for any geek, and frankly, even if you're not a geek. And because it's the end of the year, they've got a bunch of roundups of the year's best stuff, including the top 10 ways to lock down your data, the best places to find multi-monitor wallpaper, the most popular Linux downloads, even the top 10 lists of the year. So if you've got the nerd hunger, make Lifehacker, along with Tekzilla, a part of your web diet. You lost all your songs off of iTunes, you can't get your favorite tunes back out of your iPod? Do not worry, PC or Mac, we've got a tip for you.
Picture this, your computer has crashed. All data is lost. Thankfully, you were smart enough and had the important stuff backed up. But what about your tunes? Well, if you have an iPod, chances are all your music you had on your machine is still there. The trick is getting those files from the iPod back onto your computer. Thankfully, a viewer sent us a straightforward way for Windows users to do just that without the extra software. Here's what you do. Connect the iPod to your PC. If iTunes starts syncing, i.e. erasing your music automatically, hit the X in the upper right-hand corner of iTunes display to the left of the search box to stop it. In Control Panel, click Portable Media Devices and double-click your iPod. In the Tools menu, click Options, then in the View tab, check Show Hidden Files and Folders. Navigate to the Music folder. On his 2nd gen iPod, the full path is F:/iPod_control/music. Select all the music folders and drag and drop them into a folder on your hard drive or directly into iTunes. There you have it. The iPod music folder structure is strange and inexplicable, but once you move your files onto iTunes, you can set it to automatically organize your folder by artist and album to clean that up. To do this, click Edit within iTunes, choose Preferences, and in the Advanced tab, check Keep iTunes Music Folder Organized. Now you should have a working copy of all your music from your iPod. Great news if you run into any major PC problems.
You're grabbing a couple files, it's no big deal. You're grabbing a ton of files, it can be a real problem. Here are some ways to help speed the process along, whether you're in OS X or Windows.
Usually when you want to move a file between folders, either in OS X or Windows, all you have to do is drag it across. But when you try to move files across drives, sometimes it copies the file instead. Annoying, right? Well, here's a couple of tips to streamline your file moving process. To move a file across different drives, just hold Shift in Windows or Command key on a Mac. You'll know it works when you see the plus sign next to the cursor disappear. To copy a file over the same drive, hold the Control key on a PC or Option on a Mac, and the plus sign will pop up as verification. And to create a shortcut anywhere, just drag the file as you hold the Alt key in Windows or Command Option in OS X. Now you have no excuse not to organize that mess of files and folders you have hidden away.
It's time now to thank one of the sponsors that makes this show possible, the United States Air Force.
I'm Franz Workman. I'm an airman first class in the U.S. Air Force. This is the 7.62 minigun. It's got 6 barrels and can shoot 2,000 to 4,000 rounds a minute. These are the triggers. This is the low rate and the high rate, 2,000 rounds, 4,000 rounds. There's nothing like it. It'll definitely get the job done.
As anybody out there running Windows can tell you, not everything is as simple and as straightforward as you'd like. In fact, it can be desperately confusing if you're trying to find out what exactly is installed on your PC and how much space that stuff is taking up. Today we've got a neat little application that analyzes your hard drive and breaks down the data for you. It basically tells you where the biggest files and the biggest space hogs are on your hard drive. It's called JDisk Report, and it's both Mac and Windows compatible. It's absolutely free and provides different perspectives about your disk drives, including absolute and relative sizes, size distribution, distribution of modification dates, and distribution of types, which means it's an amazing way to analyze everything you've got stuffed into your hard drive. Colorful bar graphs or pie charts accompany every set of data for easy reading, so you can find out that, hey, I've got a bunch of video files from an edit session like 2 years ago, or maybe all those MP3 files from your old machine that you've copied over and no longer need to store. It's really easy, it's really cool, and it's really, really useful.
Have you ever wanted to find a serial number, product key, or figure out the version number of the application you're currently running? Then check out System Information for Windows. This little tool gives you everything you could possibly want to know about your system. It'll show you all the licenses you have, list your file associations, all your drivers, what programs you have set to auto-run, all the info you could want about your motherboard, CPU, BIOS, and network cards. You can find it for download at gtopala.com. It's free for personal use and a great addition to anyone's software toolbox.
Speed is something people can't get enough of, especially when it comes to Windows.
Navigating through Windows Explorer can be a pain, so the less time spent wading through file trees, the better. Here's a few shortcuts to help speed things along. If you have a file selected, just press F2 to rename it. Pressing F3 will bring up the search sidebar. As with most web browsers, F5 will refresh. Finally, there's F11, which will increase your viewing area by eliminating the top toolbar and bottom border. So there you have it, a few key combos that go a long way in accelerating your computing experience.
Finally, while we're on the Windows theme here, one thing that really annoys a lot of you using Vista is the fact that the power button on the Start menu just puts your PC to sleep. Let's make it do something more useful.
Today we've got a Vista tip courtesy of Tekzilla fan Joe in Ohio. Joe writes, one thing you've probably noticed is that the power button in the Start menu defaults to sleep mode, not shutdown. Even though it's a little annoying because you have to hit that tiny little button next to it to get to the shutdown option, you can change the action in the power button, though it's not immediately obvious how to do it. Open the control panel, click Hardware and Sound, then Power Options. Click on Change Plan Settings for whatever plan you have active. Then click on Change Advanced Power Settings to get a nice list of power options to change. Expand Power Buttons and Lid, and then expand Start Menu Power Button, and then change the setting to how you want it, which in my case was shut down. Click OK to close the window, and then click Cancel. Your settings have already been saved. Thanks, Joe.
Some final thoughts after a word from the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. Impaired driving continues to be a social scourge that kills and maims thousands of Americans every year. 15% of all drivers involved in fatal crashes during the week were alcohol impaired. On the weekends, 31%. Alcohol affects skills essential to operating a motorcycle, balance and coordination. So alcohol plays a particularly big role in motorcycle fatalities. 59% of riders killed in single vehicle crashes on weekend nights had a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or higher. This is preventable, people. It's stupid to get hurt or to hurt somebody else because you've been drinking. If you plan to drink alcohol with friends, designate a sober driver before going out. Give that person your keys. Are you impaired? Use mass transit. Call a taxi, a sober friend, a family member, or use your community's Sober Rides program, or just curl up in the back seat of your car. Do the smart thing. Don't drink and drive. Thanks for watching this special edition of Tekzilla. As the year closes out, we want to remind you one last time, we live on your questions. So email us, tekzilla@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos. You ask us, we'll do it, but we need those emails from you. Hey, even better, why not end this year or start next year with a video email? Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line. The Revision 3 store is up and running. If you want to pick up some swag, head over to revision3.com/store. You'll find t-shirts and hats from your favorite shows, plus, if Roger gets his way, Tekzilla hot sauce. So check that out when you get a chance, revision3.com/store. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get more of our daily tips, go to tekzilla.com or subscribe to the RSS feed. I'm Patrick Norton. Until next year, you've been watching Tekzilla.
Look at my guns.
You know, when you do that, it automatically goes into the blooper rolls at the end of the video.
Then you surf over to your favorite porn.
And you turn yourself around.
That's what it's all about. So this is your first time.
This is my first time. Be gentle.
Sorry, stop. Restart. That's a creepy Leo moment.
Sorry.
A big fan of Cheap Trick and air guitar, the lovely, the fabulous Veronica Belmont.
At the end of the show, we can. Not a problem.
Guns. Welcome to the gun show.
Scroll back, I said week twice. Goddamn hot dog.
Sorry, Roger.
Check it out.
Is Roger pissed at me in there now?
Okay.
D. 3, 2. Beady, 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 beady. That's exactly what I was thinking. Beady, beady, beady. Yeah, I couldn't keep a straight face. That was so good.
Easy there, cattle rustler.
I feel like a producer.
I mean, I'll take you right now, producer.
Enter. Ooh, my mouth is full of spit.
Let's take a look at that. Ah. If Verizon gave you a router compatible with a tomato.
Got no hairs on my boobs. Okay.
I'm a professional communicator. How the hell are you?
It's been around for a while, but with such amazing blending episodes like Wii Remote, Rubik's Cube, Hockey Pucks, and Makeup Smoothie, marketing and high art have truly become one. Your precious memories, recording them and turning into some sort of surreal...
Precious memories.
Well,
More like your porny memories. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, that's some people. I mean, I don't. What?
Untitled Belmont. Sorry, I don't know what that's about. Still, I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Let's burn this mother to the ground. Sorry, I just...
Like this. It does not go in the bloopers. Whoever's editing this, I will end you. I'll end you. I will end you. I will end you.